Hi, this is Birgit Haugen with Super Scum, and we are sitting here in Denver at the Grand Hyatt with Peter Baltes from Accept.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you? Accept. I mean, it is a personal pleasure to interview you. You are one of the great German heavy metal bands that are together again. Emphasis on together again. Blood of the Nations. It was released last August, and it got really, really good response from media and fans alike. Were you surprised about that?
Absolutely. I mean, we haven't been around 15 years. We did one tour with Udo in 2005, and then Udo said, "I'm done with this," and so we moved on with our lives, and we met Mark by chance, by accident, and then we decided, well, maybe we can do this again, because he's that voice we were always looking for. If there's anybody who ever replaced Udo, it would be Mark. And then now we have to write songs. But I think because we didn't write for 15 years, maybe it was all bubbled. It came all bubbling up. It's almost like a caged animal. It's kind of unleashed, comes out after such a long time. So we were just like kids in a candy store, pretty much.
Now, this newest album is also the highest ranking album on the German charts over a career of 40 years. Are you kind of surprised of that?
We were falling backwards. I mean, seriously, you wish that somebody will recognize the album and maybe, it's not bad, but to be the best charting album we ever had, it just blew us right out of the water. Now we knew we had to deliver, so we were just bold and went on the road. And, worldwide, and we've been going since May 8th last year, and still going strong, and everybody loves it. We're having the best time ever. Great chemistry in the band, which is important for a lot of young bands. When you start out, chemistry is just as important as talent.
Now, this is also only your second album ever that you recorded with Udo. Now, after that... Without, yes, correct. Without. After the David Rees incident in the 80s, were you reluctant to have Mark as a vocalist?
No, not really, because we weren't looking to do anything. We were in our private life, me and Wolf. We had our private life, so it was an accident. The only reason we did it because it was different than David Rees. David Rees was auditioned. We were trying to break into the American market. We had a different record company, different production company, different producer. Everybody told us to do this, do this, do this. This time, nobody told us. We just made the decision. We just found the voice we were always looking for. So here we go. So that's the difference in it.
Now, Mark is also writing the lyrics, which on all prior albums, Gabi was... Can I say this?
Yeah.
Gabi was writing the lyrics. Is that something different and new and other for Accept also?
Oh, absolutely. The only reason, because in the beginning, when we started, we hardly spoke any English, and Udo didn't speak any English. So when we did our first album, for instance, we were ready to go in the studio the day before and said, "Udo, you got the lyrics?" And he said, "What lyrics?" He said, "Well, you've been singing for years now. We've been playing these songs in clubs. What are you singing there?" He said, "I have no idea." So we went with the dictionary and wrote like something for the first album. And, Udo never wrote any lyrics because he couldn't speak the language. And then when Gabi came in the picture, he said, "Well, I'm pretty good at this. I'll help you out a little." And we were like, "All right, we write the riffs, you write the lyrics, sounds good to me." Now with Mark, it's nice for us because it gives us, it gives her a rest anyway, and it takes it from a little angle, different angle. So it's pretty cool.
Were you guys kind of reluctant to put out an album without Udo, because we all know however opinionated the media is? Oh, here you go, Accept again with somebody else. Was that ever in the back of your head?
Not really, because we kind of thought, we do it, and if it doesn't work, we go back to where we were 6 months ago. It's not really like it's the end of our world. We had our lives, and we did very well. So it was just really just for fun. Let's try this. And then when it came out and it exploded, we were like, oh my goodness, So no, not really. We were so excited. Even we put some stuff that we recorded on the first day with Mark when he was sick on the internet, me and Wolf. Like little kids, go, "Oh, I want everybody to hear it." And then everybody wrote back, "This stings." We were like, "Oh, I better write a good album."
Andy Sneap was producing, and as far as I understood, he called up Wolf and said that, "Hey, I heard you guys are recording, I want to produce." Is that correct?
That is correct.
How did Andy find out?
I have no clue. Wolf and Andy have a mutual friend from Florida. And somehow the mutual friend told Andy, "Listen, they found a singer or something. I think they might do something." So Andy is one of our biggest fans. So he would just finish the Megadeth record, and he you know, somehow he found the connection, called us up. We had no idea where he was. We were like, "Who, Sneap? I don't know." So we had to Google him, and he, on his own cost, I just want to come to Nashville. So he flew from Manchester to Nashville, and sat with us and listened to a couple of songs that we wrote already. Me and Wolf, a couple of riffs, and he's like, "That's not it. That sucks. This is not it, you know." So he's such a big fan. He said, "I want to do this, but we have to do this first. We have to go sit down for a day or two and we just listen to all the old albums. And I'm going to point out from a fan perspective what I like about you guys and what are you special and why are you, you know, different than others. I'm going to point that out, and then we start over." Huh. So we said, "That sounds good. Nobody ever done that with us. You know, usually producers are a little bit different. They don't get emotionally attached. You're just another act, another couple of weeks of work." So we did that, and we really bonded, you know, because we were chuckling when he pointed something else. We were like, "Yeah, right. They like this?" And he said, "Yeah, because..." So
it really helped that Andy is such a huge Accept fan in the production of the album?
We never had, like, really a fan of the band really produce an album. That makes all the difference, because his heart was in it from day one to the last minute. You know, I remember instances when Wolf was doing a solo, and he's a guitar player, Andy, which is nice too. But Wolf would do a solo, and Andy would turn around to me and would almost had tears in his eyes. You know, he was like, "Oh my gosh, check this out." And I said, "Yeah, I know the guy, but you know, he's really good." So he didn't, you know, he put just as much effort in this than we did. Almost more, I would even think. I don't know, because to the last minute, it was never good enough, and he just went for it. So, and it was a big thing for him too, because he was known as a producer a lot of thrash metal bands, you know, and he's stepping back in and doing something different. So it's a mutual benefit, I guess.
Now, was it hard for you guys to come up with riffs, music, solos, because you haven't done nothing since Predator in '96?
Like I said, it wasn't really. You know, once we started, it's the weird thing, Wolf and me, you know, once we sit down, and it takes a little time, and all of a sudden it clicks, and then it just goes. And with Andy now there telling us what not to do, it made it a little bit easier, you know, and then the moment we found our way, we just went for it, and it just came all out. And we have so much still sitting there we haven't even touched. I mean, riffs, we haven't even... They're just sitting there from, you know. So we're going to revisit some of that stuff. We have some new stuff already, and, you know, because it's a success of the album, we know which songs on the album are really, you know, people like, what style. So we're going to try to even dive a little deeper in that and pull out more.
You guys used to be with RCA, but now went with Nuclear Blast. Is there a reason why?
Yes, because, you know, first of all, you know, we didn't want any pressure. We really didn't care about a label, to be quite honest. We just wanted to make a good record. And if we make a really good record, you know, we want a special deal. We had something in mind that we wanted that gives us all the freedoms in the world. And then we were looking for a company where we have Accept fans. Not just a company. We want a company that loves what we do and grew up with us. And in Nuclear Blast, we found exactly that. You know, it's a great label, and they grew up with us. The last 25 years they've been around, we've been around, they know us, and it made perfect sense.
Now, how is the chemistry and working vibe in the band now that you guys are all older and wiser?
Well, pretty much the bullshit is all over. And you know, that's all out of the system. And now we can actually enjoy life, you know, and really enjoy playing on stage. You know, we jam way more than we ever did. You know, we loosen up a whole scenario, what we do there on stage. You know, certain things we kept, but others, you know, and the addition of Mark, he sings so amazing. You know, sometimes we're stunned on stage, and it turns you on when somebody really sings it, and I understand the lyrics, you know, for the first time. Really, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's what it means.
And the audience too, and they just embrace him, you know, and You know, we're wiser. We're definitely wiser. We're smarter. You know, we're trying to stay in shape and watch. You know, what we don't drink and smoke, and really, so if we want to do this for another 10 years or even 15, that would be hilarious to see us up there in 15. But you know, it's possible. Others do it, and you know, we just got to just stay in shape, keep some hair on that head.
Now, speaking of older, what did you grow up? What did you grow up listening to?
Yeah, well,
and did you ever then later on in life tour with those bands?
Yeah, I was very fortunate. My favorite band was always AC/DC, and now I have a 20 and a 22-year-old, 19 and 21. And they both love, you know, the AC/DC fans, so that's pretty cool. And we were invited last year by AC/DC to do 2 shows as special guests, to play a full hour, and we did 2 shows with them in Germany with over 80,000 people, and it was like, this was pretty good. It came at the perfect time, you know, for us. And Rainbow was another band, you know, Deep Purple.
So anything that came over from England that was...
Yeah, well, I mean, back then it was melodic. It was called hard rock. We were called hard rock in the beginning, and metal. Metal, I think, came when Fast as the Shark, you know, thrash metal. All of a sudden, we became a metal band.
Because I remember Status Quo, and I say that, and people say, "Who is that?" Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know, must be something, because all of the English stuff ran in Germany.
Yeah. By the way, they're still on the road. They still have the jeans on. They stand like this. They do the same thing. But they were the big influences. You know, they were very melodic, and the riffs. It was the riffs that intrigued me. You know, the riffs that you remember for the rest of your life. Da da da, da da. Yeah. Everybody on this planet knows this.
Touring, you guys toured literally your asses off ever since the release.
We have a little bit left.
Well, yeah, but
you get ass extensions now, so you have to put them on there.
Now, is it different touring these days than it was touring in the 80s?
Actually, I think it's a little bit easier, to be quite honest, because, well, first of all, you know, since we don't consume that much alcohol anymore, you know, we're very clear. We enjoy having a very luxurious tour bus. The tour buses are much nicer than they used to be in the old days. So it seems like, you know, as an artist, you travel very nice, and the fans are different too. It used to be that the whole bunch of guys come in, everybody was the pre-drinking before the show, and then, you know, and now you have the same guys coming with a wife and 2 kids, and everybody's more civilized, and it's really just about the music. You see smiling faces, and we shake hands, and we hear the same thing every night. You make me feel like I was 18. I haven't seen you in 25 years. This is my wife, Ellen. You know, my 2 sons, Jake, and they're accept fans, and we just love what you do. You inspire me to pick up the bass and playing, things like that. So from that aspect, it's totally different. And we notice a lot of young fans who are like, how can they know us? And I ask this, oh, you on Guitar Hero? You know, okay. and Facebook, you know, plays a big role. It's amazing. Or social media, all of a sudden, you know, plays a big role even in your every existence.
Speaking of bass, you did an interview, I think it was Rock Vision, I don't know, it was some kind of metal festival in Germany, when you talked about your gear.
Yes.
Did all of you guys keep your gear from way back when, even when everybody, including you guys, thought that Accept was dead? Did you keep it, and are you still using it?
No, I sold it all except my guitars, my bass guitars, because my main bass is from 1959. I'm born in 58, so we're very close. Everything else I just sold because I thought I don't need it anymore, and didn't, you know, I had so much stuff, you can't just store it all. And my kid's a guitar player and drummer, so they couldn't use it either. But the guitars we kept, and the same with Wolf, you know, he has a lot of stuff though. He has a lot of stuff, I have to say. But, you know, the guitars you hold on to, some other stuff you let go. And
did you guys keep your endorsements from way back when?
No. Endorsements you only get when you're hot.
Oh,
you know, once you get cold, endorsements get cold. You look at Tiger Woods. But no. And we're really not, you know, endorsements are, it's a weird thing because there's certain things you like, and if you can't get endorsement, we rather buy the thing and have what we like. There's certain endorsements we really like the product, but wouldn't endorse anything that we didn't like. Like when you're younger, you endorse anything just to get something for free and get a picture. Now you really want some good stuff.
Wolf was saying in an interview that he thinks he was born to play accept music, and does playing in a band pay the bills these days?
Yes, it does. If you do it real clever.
Is it just because you guys been around forever?
We're in a unique situation because we have like a solid background, a solid catalog, and fans that are very loyal. We do shows and people come from 1,000 miles away. They fly. Mm-hmm. So we're very fortunate, and even in this market, the market is very different. Touring in the United States is very different. A lot of bands are not able to tour because you can't even pay for it. And we do very well, and this is our real first tour, so I think by next year we're in the position to really enjoy this. But we do make a living, and like I said, we had a living before, so that goes on as well. Right. Wolf is still a photographer. I still write music for radio and television, so we're not solely relying on this right now. And the album sales are different. You really don't. There's no more resources really coming in. It's very small, but. I don't mind it. It's just the way it goes, I guess.
Now, speaking of album, one more time, do you guys had songs or ideas that did not make the cut and that you guys maybe use for a next album?
No, if it doesn't make the cut for this one, it won't make the cut for anything else. No, we have this, it's called the riff shredder. It's a machine, we have a riff, we put it in. I'm just kidding. No, but it really doesn't make any sense. If something is cut, it's cut. And you don't go back looking at it, because that's like old potatoes. The only reason I said we're going to revisit some of the things from Blood of the Nation, because things we never actually worked on. We had over 40 riffs that me and Wolf wrote, Wolf and me wrote, and some we didn't even get to. I think some of them I wrote that he didn't listen to yet, and some he has still that I haven't heard yet. So we're going to go back in and revisit that and pick out a couple of nuggets that say, maybe we can do something with that. Just as a starting point to get us started. I think that makes a lot of sense.
If I can ask, since I don't think Nuclear Blast gave you a one-album contract, how many albums can we expect from Accept? Wow.
I think as long as we're going, it's going very well. We're anxious. I was talking at lunch today with Wolf, and we're really anxious talking about it already, what we're going to do. And we're not going to do the one album each year, stupid thing. We're going to make another album right away and another tour, and maybe take a little time off then and make another record. Do it very wisely, and we have families. We want to have a life. We don't want to be burnt out. I see that there's a lot of bands that tour in the same circuit every year, and the most important thing for us is that we have fun on stage and the fans have fun. So in order to do that, you have to pick your places and your times.
What are your touring plans for? After this tour?
After this tour, we go to South America. Japan obviously was canceled, so we're going to go back to Germany, then we have a couple more dates, popular demand, and do some big festivals.
You guys do Wacken?
No, we don't do. We do Sweden Rock with Priest, and then we do a big festival in Finland, Sauna Festival with Priest. We do something with Duff McKagan's Loaded in Albania. I don't know. A couple of festivals, and then we're going to stop. We've been going since January 8 this year, so it's time to stop. And then Andy's available to produce, and then we're going to start writing, and hopefully by September, October, we're cracking away. Makes a nice early release. Sounds good to me.
Now, you and Wolf are the only ones that live and Mark are the only ones that live in the United States. The other ones are still living in Germany?
Herman lives in Hanover, and Stefan, which we call the Swede, lives actually in Switzerland, Basel.
Is he German though?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you guys actually don't rehearse and say, hey, let's get together, or?
No, you really don't need to. Plus, you have Skype and other means of where you can just go back and forth. Even Wolf and me, because he lives in Nashville, I live outside of Philly. For the time being, we go back and forth by Skype because you don't when you get the meat in your hand, then you start cooking it. But getting the meat, you really don't have to be together all the time. We're going to meet sporadically for a couple of days. I fly down or he comes up, and then it's really special. And then you separate again and do something else for a while, clear your head, and then do it again instead of sitting there for 4 weeks in a room.
something.
You know, let's go. You know how that ends up. We're going to be at the pool. So,
cool.
you know, but that's the game plan.
Okay, cool. All right, well, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye, folks.